Hello, so welcome to my channel. Today we are going to study about Java exception handling. So what is Java exception handling? Java exception handling is maintaining the normal flow of code when an exception has occurred. And to do that, we have few keywords in our Java, that is try, catch, and finally. Here you can see catch. So what we do, the try block holds the code where there are chances that okay, this portion of the code can create an exception. Okay, and so once the exception has been created, what we will do, we have to handle that exception, because it is exception handling. In order to handle that, what we go to the catch block. In catch block, we have to define what kind of exception we are expecting from the try block and what we are going to handle. So in catch block, we will catch the exception thrown by the try block. And here comes the finally. The finally block is executed regardless whether an exception has occurred or not. This block is mainly used to for the cleanup code. Suppose you have created a db connection in try block and you faced an exception here, and the code goes in the catch block, but you have to terminate the db connection, you have to close the db connection. That would be handled in the finally block. So there's one very popular interview question on the finally block which will be discussed by the end of the video, so be there. And now we are going to debug this code, this present code in front of you, to know the working scenario of try, catch, and finally. I'm running the program. I have already added the breakpoints, and now this is the try block. This system, I have printed a try block in my console, and here is 5 divided by 0. So what 5 divided by 0 does is it is indivisible in our mathematics. Now we cannot assign any kind of value to an int x, that is indivisible value to an int x. So this is an arithmetic expression, and I have handled this arithmetic exception in the below catch block. Now we will see this, except it is checking whether the exception thrown by the try block is matching the exception defined in the catch block. So yes, it matches, and we are inside the catch block. The catch block is printed, and now we are inside the finally block, and that is terminated. Our program has been terminated. Now let me comment out this exception and see what happens, whether the catch block or finally block will get executed or not. Now we are inside the try block, and we are not throwing, or haven't written any kind of code which creates an exception. Now we are in the catch block. Since we haven't thrown anything from the try block, that we didn't go inside the catch block because there is nothing to be handled, and finally block as usual gets executed. Now the most popular Java interview question that interviewers ask is, does finally block always get executed? So the answer is no. The finally block doesn't always get executed. But how can we say that? There are two ways to terminate our code. One way is system.exit.0. Let me write here. That is system.exit not dot 0, it's 0. In here we pass the int value. Here we pass the int value in the parenthesis. And what does it do? It bounds us to exit the current flow of code. So if we exit the current flow of code, then we will never reach to the finally class. Did you know that? So what we do, let me add here system.exit, and here we have to pass an integer, that is 0. So let's see according to the definition I have discussed with you, that okay, this statement will help us to exit from the program. Let's see. So we have started running our code. Arithmetic exception occurred. Okay. Okay, it is inside the catch block and it is inside the finally block also. So what we saw here, that if we want to terminate our finally block to be executed, this system.exit should be written above the catch block. I mean not the catch block, the block, the point of code where we are expecting the exception to be occurred. Because as soon as the exception get occurred, it is handled by the catch. As soon as the exception is occurred, here the exception got occurred, and then it goes to the catch. This line number 11 isn't executed at all. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to first, let me clean the code. We have to remove this code from here and we should add it on the top of the code where there is probability that the exception could get occurred. Now save and build. We are running the code. Now we will see what happens. Okay, system.exit. Only the try block got executed. Neither the catch block nor the finally block got executed. So here is one way to prevent the finally block to get executed. If we want to execute the catch block, then system.exit is added here. Let me terminate it. Debugger is on. Breakpoints we have it. Okay, exception occurred here, handled by the catch block. As soon as the exception occurred, inside the catch block, system.exit, and we have been terminated from our current flow and finally isn't executed. So this system.exit is one method by which finally block isn't executed, and there's another way. Suppose that our program get aborted because of some consequences, then also there might be a chance that finally block will not get executed. So that's all for today's video. I hope you understood the example, and if you liked it, thank you, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.